This is commentary on Lesson 105 in the Workbook for A Course in Miracles. God's peace and joy are mine. Before we get into this lesson, let's take a look at Chapter 4, which we studied in our text class last week, which begins in the second section here, the sixth paragraph. Only those who have a real and lasting sense of abundance can be truly charitable. This is obvious when you consider what is involved. To the ego, to give anything implies you'll have to do without it. When you associate giving with sacrifice, you give only because you believe that you're somehow getting something better and can do, therefore, without the thing you give. Giving to get is an inescapable law of the ego, which always evaluates itself in relation to other egos. It is therefore continually preoccupied with the belief in scarcity that gave rise to it. All right, so the belief in scarcity is the opposite of abundance. And what the point it's making about the ego here is that our inherent sense of lack and trying to fill that is a sense of scarcity. And then when we give something to someone else or we do something for someone else, we're coming from that sense of lack. And when we lack like that, it's the logic of it is that we're going to give something that's less than what we're giving. We're trying to give less than what we're trying to receive. And the opposite of that is what true giving and receiving is from a sense of abundance. And it's a sense of abundance that comes from our real nature of what we inherently have inside of us already, the forgiveness and the miracles. And the distinguishing feature of those miracles and forgiveness that we give is that it's shared. And that breaks the idea of egos clashing, both trying to get something just for themselves kind of idea. And so in this lesson, as throughout the course, we're trying to get a new sense of what a gift is and what giving and receiving is. Because it's only by giving that we will receive. And so we need to change our idea what gifts are and what giving is. And that's what this lesson is about. So it begins with God's peace and joy are yours. Today we will accept them knowing they belong to us, and we will try to understand these gifts increase as we receive them. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift, and the taker is richer by his loss. Such are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given entails no loss. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an insufficiency. No gift is given thus. Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full, a temporary lending meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than what was received by him who took the gift. This strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world you see. It strips all meaning from the gifts you give and leaves you nothing in the ones you take. A major learning goal this course has set is to reverse your view of giving so you can receive. For giving has become a source of fear, and so you would avoid the only means by which you can receive. Accept God's peace and joy, and you will learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts never lessen when they are given away, they but increase. And that's the basic idea, is that when God gave himself to us in our creation, he wasn't lessened, he was increased. And when God gives us his peace and joy, it's not made less with God, it's increased as we accept it. And that's the basic difference between giving and receiving as it is in truth, as it is in miracles and forgiveness, as opposed to giving according to the ego. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept his joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to timelessness, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. Today, accept God's peace and joy as yours. Let Him complete Himself as He defines completion. You will understand that what completes Him must complete His Son as well. He cannot give through loss, no more can you. Receive His gift of joy and peace today, and He will thank you for your gift to Him. So think about that, is that in our acceptance of the gift of peace and joy from God, increases it in God Himself. So our acceptance, our receiving of His gift, gives that gift back to Him and increases it in God. So as we accept His gifts of peace and joy, they increase within God, and that's our gift to Him. Today our practice periods will start a little differently. Begin today by thinking of those brothers who have been denied by you the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. Here you denied them to yourself, and here you must return to claim them as your own. Think of your quote-unquote enemies a little while and tell each one, so this is our practice instructions. We think of our quote-unquote enemies a little while and tell each one as he occurs to you, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. And thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gifts to you and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success today. Now are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy that God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say, God's peace and joy are mine, for you have given what you would receive. You must succeed today if you prepare your mind as we suggest. For you have let all bars to peace and joy be lifted, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, God's peace and joy are mine, and close your eyes a while, and let His voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Spend your 5 minutes thus with Him each time you can today, but do not think that less is worthless when you cannot give Him more. At least remember hourly to say the words which call to Him to give you what He wills to give and wills you to receive. Determine not to interfere today with what He wills, and if a brother seems to tempt you to deny God's gift to him, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gifts of God as yours, and then bless your brother thankfully and say, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. So we have our longer practice periods, recognizing that whatever we give is enough, that it's not less because we don't give more. We have frequent reminders of the idea for today, God's peace and joy are mine. And then if we have a temptation to be upset with someone, we would practice then by saying these words silently within ourselves to them, my brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. Okay, that's it. Thank you.